broadcasting stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street.
Man, that was fun last night. That's all I'm going to tell you. Ja Morant, he's special. It's going to be fun watching him for the next, hopefully, what we get this year. Then you get a max for 5, which is an extension. We should be enjoying him for at least the next 7 years. And the truth is, Memphis has never had a team, a guy that is like him. Teams can't stay in front of him. He's really and truly a superstar in the making. If he becomes a better shooter, and he hit a big 3 when it counted last night, if he becomes a better shooter, he will become a superstar, just like Luka, just like Trae Young. And those two, by the way, play each other. I think it's tonight they go up against one another, Luka and Trae Young. The league's in great shape with all their young guards that are so good, but there is no doubt that Ja is in that mix and that Ja is the real deal. Here's what I want to start with, though. I was worried. I went with my son. Not many times I've really, because most of the time I'm working. And so I decided we were going to go together, and we just had a ball just being fans. But I was worried about getting into the gym because I haven't quite figured out, and guys like Jay Morgan are supposed to help me with these things because I'm old, they're young, they know all the technology. So I did not have the Clear, that app which you can put on your phone. I do have a picture of my thing, which I could have used, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to make it easy. I'm taking the card. I took the card. And I was worried that there would be all these big lines, that it would take forever to get in. We went to dinner before, and for whatever reason, it took forever for the dinner to come out. I'm thinking, well, with this thing, I'm probably going to miss the first 15 minutes of the game, maybe a whole quarter here. Who knows? And we arrive. I'm going to say we arrived about 5 minutes to 7, 10 minutes to 7. Much to my delight, they had, and I went in through the main plaza right there. They must have had like 6 to 8 different ways that you could get in. If you had the Clear, they called that the Express, you got into this line. If you had it like this, you got into this line. Another way like that. I'm going to tell you, I waited no time. None. I walked right into FedEx Forum. I give the Grizzlies and the people that run that arena a heck of a lot of credit. They were so ready. So basically, you picked the right door that you were going to go into. Then you go through, and that's where you sort of got screened. Then you took out your ticket. After you're in the foyer, the lobby, then you take out your ticket with your vaccination proof, and then you walk in. Wow. And instead of like having to wait a half hour, which I really believe, because, they were giving you warnings. Come early, be prepared, be patient. It's going to take a while. Took nothing. No, I didn't get there an hour before the game when they probably started letting people in, and maybe there was a delay there. If anybody had to wait a little bit, please text me on the AutoZone text line at 901-360-8255. AutoZone, get in the zone, 901-360-8255. But when I got there, I watched the whole introduction and Jaren Jackson speaking to the crowd, everything. They had the way they did it. I can't believe they'll do this for every game, but they actually incorporated a live rap group into the intro of the players. Now, that is pretty unique. It was good. It was real good. Most people, not all, most people were following the mask rules. I applaud them for that. But even if they didn't, I felt comfortable because I knew to get in, you had to show either a negative test or proof of vaccination. And I will say this, when I was there, most people were going through the vaccine cards as opposed to negative tests. So I don't know what the percentages are, and I don't know if the Grizzlies are going to share that. They said it was 15,900. I don't think it was that either, but I think it was legit 13, 14. That's for sure. But who cares? I mean, we're all back together, and really and truly, I kind of felt like this for Memphis Madness too, but this was like more affirmation. Like we're getting over this. We're really getting there. People, get your boosters if you can, and I'm guilty. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to. Really, I got to do this next week. Anyway, it was really exciting, and I will give you, Jay Morgan, some credit. You said you love the way the Cavs play. You like J.B. Bickerstaff. It's good to see him back.
It was.
I'm glad he got his shot, a real shot this time, because all he's ever been is an interim. This time he gets the real deal here. But they just don't have enough talent. I mean, they're a 30-win team. Jared Allen is terrific. And I'm going to tell you this. They'll have a star, and it'll be Mobley. The kid from USC, the 7-footer, he can do a lot of different things, and he's going to get bigger and stronger. He's still a skinny guy. He's going to be their star. I don't like their guards. I know you're a Colin Sexton guy, not me. And Garland is okay, serviceable, but they don't have good enough guard play, in my estimation, to be good. Rubio is, that's a good backup, but you don't have a front liner. That is an issue. And they don't play that kid, Osman. Tell me, who's Osman again?
Shetty Osman. He's a really good. He's a good shooter. I believe he's from Turkey. He's somewhere in Europe, but he can shoot it.
Was he on the Nets last year? He was with a different team, wasn't he?
He's been with a few different teams. I can't remember. I'll look it up. I don't remember.
I only played him 17 minutes last night. I thought they should have played him more. They played Kevin Love the same amount. They should have played him less. Ooh, he's looking old. He's really kind of lost it. But to your point, here's what impressed me about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They made 47 field goals. On those 47, 38 were assisted. 38 were assisted, which tells you they'll win some games, particularly at home, because even though they don't have the best of frontline talent, they play together. They have some chemistry. J.B. Bickerstaff will get them playing together and keep them together. So they just don't have enough talent to really be a big winner, but I do like the way they play. I appreciate that. I forget you were an assistant basketball coach, like at Rhodes College, right?
I was last year, Rhodes College. So
how good was that team?
It was a tough year last year. We had 6 days of practice before our first game of the season, so kind of a short
right.
Because of COVID and everything. But they got some really good players. They're going to be good this year. Hey, if you're in Memphis and you want to go watch good basketball that's not just the Tigers and Grizzlies this year, go down to Rhodes College. They got some good players over there.
Did they get a new coach, or is Zoe still their coach?
Zoe Goodson is still the head coach.
Can't be that good then. Anyway, just my opinion on him. The Grizzlies were terrific last night. 73 points at halftime. They've done this a bunch in the exhibition games. They had 70 points at the half in at least 2 games. I mean, 37 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and a couple of blocks. I got to tell you, one block was on Markkanen. So there's a 7-footer. And he's inside, and he's going to lay it up. And Ja goes up and cleanly, although Markkanen complained, but the replay shows, cleanly blocked the ball. Now, I've got to ask you, have you seen this, Jay Morgan? Have you seen the play?
Oh, yeah, the end of the first half.
How high do you think Ja is? Is he above the backboard?
He was above the square for sure.
Oh, definitely above the square. I'm telling you, he's at the top of the darn board.
It was something else. That was a great block. Great momentum going into halftime. That was unbelievable. That was a finals-esque LeBron James type play. That was unbelievable.
Oh, no. It was incredible. He had 2 moments like that. He, I think it was from either Bain or Melton. Maybe Bain. I think it was Bain, who saw him on a fast break, and he got behind everybody. and Bain just threw the ball up in the air. And he goes up with one hand, his right hand, and windmills the thing down. He was almost as high on that dunk as he was on the block. I'm telling you, incredible.
That was awesome. I think it was Melton that threw that up, and when he threw it up, I was like, oh, that's going to be a turnover. That was a bad pass, and then all of a sudden, Ja just reaches his hand out, grabs it, and throws. It was unbelievable play.
Oh, it was outstanding. Triple J, 13 points. That's all they needed from him. He gave you 4 blocks in the game. He had 6 rebounds. He was much better rebounding. When you needed a 3, he came up. His points were timely. Triple J, congratulations on your contract. That was good last night. Bain, 22 with 3 assists. Melton, 20 with 3 assists. They were both in the starting lineup. I don't think that that'll be the case when Brooks comes back. I got the feeling it'll be Melton on the bench. That'll be okay. He'll be a spark plug off the bench. They had 14 threes in that game last night. And this is the real season, too.
I was impressed.
It is Cleveland, though.
Well, that's true, too. And like you said, they might not win 30 games. But still, like a good basketball team and a good win nonetheless, especially on opening night. Bain, I was incredibly impressed by. He was unbelievable. Every shot he takes, Melton a little bit too, I think is going in. I mean, he's got a great stroke, unbelievable. And then I loved what they did bringing Melton and Jaren in with the second group, because that second group, especially when you've got a starter hurt like Brooks, it's a little bit weaker. And the bench won that game because Melton and Jaren played with that second group. They were plus 20 at one point in the third quarter, dominated the Cavaliers. I think that was the difference in the game.
Well, I think the boards too. 53-36, 8 blocks in that game. But the last thing is this. All these great teams, I don't care what sport. You take a look at baseball, and Altuve has been brilliant. I mean, the stars are the stars. Bats for the Dodgers, although we'll get into that in a minute. That series may be over the other way. But in the last 2.5 minutes of that game, Cleveland somehow gets to within 1. The last 11 points in the last 2:30, Ja Morant either scores or assists. He takes over the game. And that's what superstars do. That is what Ja Morant is. There was a period of time, and Colin Sexton's supposed to be like a good defensive guard. Nobody, including Sexton, could stay in front of Ja. To begin the game, Ja scored, I don't remember how many at the very beginning, but it was like, I'm going to make a statement here to begin with, then I'm going to get my other guys involved. He just kept going to the hole, and no one could stop him from going to the hole. It was amazing. And it's Cleveland. I have to remind myself of that. And they've got this crazy road trip coming up to start this year. But Morant is special. Morant can be a superstar. I think it'll all come down to his shooting improving, and it wasn't terrible last night. And again, he hit a big 3 down the stretch when it counts, and he took over the game the way superstars do. I'm not sure. You think about Pau Gasol, right? Probably singularly the best who ever wore the uniform, Rookie of the Year, international star. And I went over, this was, I think I was still doing the show with Stats. I went over where he stands in statistics for the franchise, up in so many different categories. And the other guy, I don't think ever gets really his due that was a great player because he could create. And that's Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay was a really good player in a Memphis uniform. But this guy's clearly going to be the best, if he isn't already the best. And he's going to be the superstar that Memphis has never had. It's more and more clear. I love when guys never settle, where you're getting all kinds of accolades, and even though you got a little dissed and you use that as a little chip on your shoulder when he didn't make the All-Star team, and that kind of PO'd him a little bit, and he felt disrespect. It drove him. But he never settles. He always wants to get better, and you can clearly see he's gotten even better. Even the handle is better than it was last year. When guys have that kind of attitude with his talent, and I believe when Desmond Bain was asked about him in the postgame, he used the word, he's special, special. Took 3 specials to try to make the point, but I think he's point on. I think Ja is absolutely incredible. I'm sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios, and a reminder to all of you, folks, we have got the Relax at Home sale going on hot and heavy. So as the weather gets a little cooler, just a reminder, you want people to come over. So when they're there and you're having fun, you can shoot some pool on a brand new pool table. Special prices on the Relax at Home sale. Maybe it's shuffleboard. Maybe it's air hockey. Any of those in-house games, they got them. And they are all of high quality. If you would like to check out the new technology massage chairs, good prices on the Relax at Home sale. You can chill out and watch a movie or the big game in style with the new theater seating. That is on sale as well. So are spas and saunas, and the end of the line on some of this patio furniture, state of the art. Get in on the price with the Relax at Home sale going on at Family Leisure. We're busy again today. Russell Copeland will sort of open up the week. We end it with Jeff Moore on Tuesdays. We begin the new week. And there's some things we got to pick Russell Copeland's brain about. We'll do that coming up at 10:28. And then Ron Higgins down in Baton Rouge will get the inside skinny as to what happened, why you would let a coach go with this many games left in the season and do it after you have an upset win over LSU. That is all very interesting. By the way, it is official today. The schools have been accepted, and I'm talking Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, I'm talking UAB, I'm talking Rice, Texas San Antonio, and North Texas. I guess the two that raise your eyebrows the most are North Texas and because you already have that market with SMU and Rice. I guess you want to replace the Houston market, and Steve Earhart said something about academics yesterday. Someone said something on one of our shows here that Southern Miss is actually thinking of leaving CUSA as well to join the Sun Belt. What a reversal. The Sun Belt is going to be a better league than the CUSA. Crazy. I sort of feel bad for Arkansas State. I know Tom Bowen was lobbying hard to get into the American, and he has a relationship with Mike Oresco. I don't think Memphis would have wanted that, but I don't think Mike Oresco would have listened to Memphis because I believe he took 6 teams in because he thinks Memphis is eventually going to leave. So apparently Jonesboro was not the attraction that Mike Oresco was looking for. Certainly not the TV market. We know that. But that is now a done deal. It is official. And last thing, 2 quick things. I got home last night to watch an upset of an undefeated top 14 team, Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State. And they stormed the field. They were at home. They stormed the field after they beat Coastal. And that's going to knock Coastal Carolina out of their championship game because App State's going to get it. I bring this up because I was kind of thinking and hoping maybe those 2 schools would have been better fits than Rice and North Texas. Just a thought. I don't know if it went through Mike Oresco's head, but I wonder what kind of number that did. You were up against the baseball. And everything else. Last thing before we take a break, we'll talk some baseball a little bit later as well. But I don't know if you saw this, but the Kentucky point guard, Ty Washington, young man, signed an NIL with the local Porsche dealer. So in Lexington, they do things in a big way, right? It wasn't like he got a used car or he got the smallest Porsche that is out there. The guy got an $80,000 car. An $80,000 car. Wow. And this is one thing I do want to talk with Ron Higgins about. Bob Huggins says Power 5 schools should shut the NCAA out, forget the tournament being under their leadership. let's have a Power 5 tournament, and we'll take all that money the same way football is taking it from the NCAA. Let's take that $8.8 billion 8-year extension that they got from TNT and CBS. Let's take that, and then let's see if football is still just the power king, that basketball would be a lot more important, and maybe some of the alignment and realignment would be factored in more if you were a great basketball school, if there were $8.8 billion that you controlled. Interesting thoughts from Bob Huggins. We'll talk about that a little bit later with Ron Higgins. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by the good folks at Old Dominic. Old Dominic with that wonderful bar right there on Front Street. But more importantly, I think, or I shouldn't say importantly, more unique is that this distillery has tastings. And it has a tour. You want to know about some of the – Memphis has such great history. And I think the Domenico Canali story is a great story. The guy came to this country with nothing. And then they started the beer distributorship. Now they've got this distillery. It's really cool. So you'll find out about the history. You get a close-up view of the extensive grain-to-glass distilling process, which I think is really cool. And then you get a tasting, curated tasting of Old Dominic's portfolio of spirits. You'll love it. Go to olddominic.com. You can find out tour availability. You get distillery hours, and you can find out about the bar, too, because the bar is really cool. Go in there, fancy yourself with an old-fashioned. Maybe you try the whole portfolio. You can do that on some night in this really cool place. So many reasons why you will love Old Dominic. We are back in a minute. We will head just across town to talk with our friend Russell Copeland on the National Football League.
Hi, everyone. This is Greg Gaston. After 16-plus years coming to you during the midday hours, Eli Savoy and I have moved to the morning drive. You can join us weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. for the all-new Sports 56 mornings, only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Mid-South. It's time to get your Mitsu on at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike. Want great mileage at a great price? How about 43 MPG in your new 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, $179 per month. Get more standard equipment than Ford Escape or Mazda CX-5 in your 2022 Eclipse Cross, $279 per month. Need My Pilot Assist? We Gossett in new 2022 Outlander at $319 a month. And get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage Eclipse, 84 months at 3.9% APR. Mirage MH010713, MSRP 17055, 3100 down. Eclipse NZ09209, MSRP 26470, 5150 down. Outlander NZ023516, MSRP 29445, 84 months at 4.9, 4500 down. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/21. Dealer stock only.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code HAUL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code HAUL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HAUL.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Our friend Russell Copeland in a minute. He's brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Group. I want you to think great value without sacrificing any kind of service. That first thing when I say that should be Matt Eflin. Pops into your head. The Eflin Insurance team with access to all the leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your needs. So it's about sitting down, getting to know you. This is what Matt is so good at. And his team. They get to know you, then they find the right program for you with the right price tag. It's all sort of custom fitting. Same thing with commercial insurance, particularly if you've got small to mid-sized businesses. He's got the right programs to protect you. And don't forget life insurance. The Eflin Group has you covered there as well. Big Tiger fans. In fact, his number is 901-386-GER. That's 4777. Get insurance the right way. Get it with the Eflin Insurance team at 901-386-4777. Russell Copeland on the National Football League joins us now. And, Russell, did you like the decision? Fourth down, about, quarter of a foot, inches basically. Make that. You're at least going to overtime for sure, or you're probably going to win the game, but you don't get it. And the Titans win on Monday Night Football. Did the Bills make the right decision there?
Absolutely. Love the call.
Me too.
Unfortunately for them, he slipped a little bit. And, the defensive line for the Titans did an outstanding job. They penetrated. They got within the A and the B gaps. And, they stopped him on fourth down. But to me, absolutely the right call.
Titans may be a little bit better than we thought. I mean, Derrick Henry. The thing that impressed me the most about Derrick Henry was on that 76-yard run. I mentioned this the other day. The dude ran 21.8 miles an hour with helmet and pads and guys in his way. That's amazing.
Dave, what was really impressive as well is that the run that he got was an 8-man box. It was 8 men in the box. And when you play against the Titans, you have to stop Derrick Henry, and he just gets stronger as the game goes on. But he is making these runs with 7 and 8 man boxes, and that is very impressive. And how big he is, how fast he is once he gets in the open field. No one wants to tackle him, but he outruns the secondary player.
All right, we sort of end the week, but open the week with you on the National Football League. And believe it or not, one of the big games coming up is for first place in the AFC North. Who would have thought? Well, we'd be mentioning the Ravens for sure, but we'd be saying the Bengals. Whoa.
The Bengals, when they have been rebuilding, and when you look at Joe Burrow, you look at the draft picks that they have been able to get, they've been competitive now for a couple of years, but I think finally they're putting some things together. I like the way they're playing offensively and defensively, but that combination between Joe Burrow and his wide receiver from college, Chase, it has been phenomenal.
Really has. I think the Ravens sort of end this Bengals enthusiasm this weekend. How about you?
I love, what the Baltimore Ravens have been doing. When I look at Lamar Jackson, for me, I think it starts with him. But their defense is playing old school. They're playing Ray Lewis type of football. But when I talk about what Lamar Jackson has been able to do, I've said it in the past that he has been the most criticized player in the National Football League. And what he has done, he has won an MVP. He's under 25 years old, and he's on track again to perhaps to be in the conversation with the MVP. But what he is able to do throwing the football this year, he's completing 67% of his passes, and now he is 7th in rushing. He is 6th in passing. Tremendous job by him. He's continuing to get better. But I think it starts with Lamar Jackson.
Well, it starts for the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray. We know that. They're still undefeated at 6-0. They've been that way for a couple weeks, the only NFL team with that kind of status. Here's what's interesting to me. They're playing this dysfunctional Texans team. But I don't think in the National Football League you see lines like this very often. The Cardinals are 17.5-point favorites over the Houston Texans. That's the National Football League. That doesn't happen very often.
You never see that, and you hit the nail on the head when you talk about dysfunctional. They do not have Watson as their quarterback. They have a lot of different areas that's missing on defense, offensively. They just now released one of their best defensive players that have been with the team for 10 years. It's a very dysfunctional team, and when you look at them going against Arizona Cardinals, just the opposite. They have put things together offensively and defensively. They have a ton of weapons. They can sack the quarterback. They play very well on the backside. They probably have the best safety in Buddha. They've got J.J. Watt. This is a very complete team at 6-0, and I think that's a you see line. But it is very interesting to see a 17-point favorite for an NFL team.
If you were a general manager, and I know Miami is having discussions, the Philadelphia Eagles are having discussions, would you give Deshaun Watson another look, another chance?
I think you just have to do your due diligence and just really see what's true and what's not. And I think you have to look and see how the legal system plays out. But if the legal system plays out, even those teams, absolutely. When I look at Jalen Hurts, he's a young quarterback. He's coming. Neither one of these quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa, can measure up to your football team. We're looking at what the Rams are doing now by bringing in a quarterback there right behind. Has to win a Super Bowl. Will go to the playoffs. Absolutely, I would get Deshaun Watson if I was the Eagles or if I was the Miami Dolphins. If the legal situation plays out.
Yeah, and I don't know how that is all going to play out. That's what makes it so tricky. Jags go to London and beat a team that's now interested in Watson because they're so bad. That is the Miami Dolphins. Are you surprised the Jags won that game? I was thinking this is a team that might not win a game.
Actually, Dave, believe it or not, on one of my earlier shows, I said that the Jaguars will win the game simply because of adversity, simply because of percentages. I didn't think that they would go 0-16, but when you look at Urban Meyer, his team seems to rally around him. I think they wanted to get the victory. When I look at the Miami Dolphins, they're not playing the way they should be on both sides of the football. Tua Tagovailoa under tremendous pressure. Is he going to be the future of that team? I thought that they would play well and had an opportunity to win the game. I lost on the Detroit Lions. I thought the Detroit Lions would probably get off of the 0-5, but they did not. But I thought the Jaguars would play well.
All right, Bears-Bucks this week. Bears have beaten the teams they're supposed to beat. They cannot beat the really good teams, and the Bucks are a really good team. What's your sense in that one?
Well, I just think overall, Tampa Bay, I just think they have too much talent offensively and defensively, even though they're having some issues in their backfield. I love the change at the quarterback position for the Bears, but just looking at it from top to bottom, I just do not think the Bears are ready offensively and defensively to compete with the Super Bowl defending champions in Tom Brady.
I unfortunately happen to agree with you. My heart doesn't, but my head does. Tonight, Denver and Cleveland, both teams have quarterbacks that are hurt. What happens? And by the way, you can listen to that game right here on Sports 56 and 98.5. This one is in Cleveland. What do you think?
They very interesting matchup. I think both of these teams have some issues. When you look at Denver starting off at 3-0, now they've dropped 3, and that just shows me that that's a football team that is collapsing. When you look at Cleveland, they just have a whole lot of injuries. From the line standpoint, they both of their running backs are hurt. When you look at Chubb and Hunt, now the quarterback, he's not playing in Baker Mayfield. You have Case Keenum. But when I look at Case Keenum, he played his best football when he was with the Vikings, and who was his offensive coordinator and quarterback coach? It was Kevin Stefanski. I think both of these teams will play very well. But I'm going to say, despite the injury, despite everything, I think the Browns can win the game at home simply because of their front seven, and they can be able to put pressure on Teddy Bridgewater, who's laden a little bit if he plays. If not, I don't think they have a chance if they play Drew Lock. I'm going to say tough game. I'm going to go with the Browns because of their front seven.
All right, and last thing, Tigers on the way to UCF. This is crazy. Memphis was originally the underdog in this game by at least 1.5. They are now, on my little sports app thing, they are now 1.5-point favorites. This, despite the fact that the starting quarterback, Seth Hennigan, has a sore shoulder, and if he doesn't get to start, a fourth stringer who's never thrown a pass in a college football game could be your starting quarterback.
Well, let's hope that Seth Hennigan can go, and I think if he does not go, I think that line may change before game time. You know, for me, I think it's a really tough game for the Tigers. I think they're going to have to play a complete football game. Offensively, defensively, and special teams, they're going to have to be prepared. Defensively, they're going to have to be able to create turnovers against a football team that spreads around, fast players that can get to the end zone, make big plays. Offensively, they simply cannot turn the football over. Protect the football, control the ground game, run the game. It's going to be very tough. If they can do all those things, the Tigers can win. If they cannot get turnovers and turn the football over, it'll be a long night. We'll see tomorrow night.
They are due, honestly, to have a game where they don't turn it over. That has not happened yet. There's not been one game without a turnover. Russell Copeland, as always, we appreciate it, and I know we'll be able to listen to you on the broadcast this tomorrow night.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. That's our guy, Russell Copeland. He's brought to you by Ken Garland. Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Ken knows it's a big commitment you're making when you decide to get either that renovation that you've wanted on your older home or you want that dream house. And maybe you've got land, you're not sure what to do with it. Ken knows. For 2 generations now, Ken Garland Custom Home Builders have built or renovated palaces around the Mid-South. Go to his website, kengarland.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then call him. He's a cool guy to talk to. First of all, he sees big picture and little details all at the same time. And he likes to work closely with all of his clients. And know this, nothing's finished until everything is absolutely perfect. KenGarland.com. And then if you're ready, whether it's renovation with innovation or that perfect home you've been dreaming about, 751-1632, Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Jay Morgan, last night, I think we saw 2 baseball teams ready to take over and get to the World Series in Atlanta. Dodgers series in Chavez Ravine, where Atlanta's struggled. How about Eddie Rosario? 4 hits, 2 homers, almost the cycle. He was trying to get a double, and the ball went over the fence. His second home run. Unbelievable. The Braves have now gotten a 3-1 lead. Rosario is hitting .588 in the playoffs, and he's now had 2 4-hit games. And they got Max Fried, one of the hotter pitchers on the mound tonight. The Dodgers lose Justin Turner. He's got a hamstring. I think the Dodgers are not coming back this time. I think it's over.
I wish I could say the same. I'm so skeptical about it, which is a 3-1 lead, and I'm skeptical to pick the Braves to win.
Because it happened last year.
Because it happened last year, so we'll see. I don't know.
Well, I think it was Freddie Freeman who said, what, we don't want to be up 3-1 because we lost it last year? This is a better team. No question about it, so we shall see. And then, looks like the Astros, well, they've just, since that crazy, what looked like a strike that was a ball, do you know, in a 9-inning stretch, last 2 innings of Game 4, first 7 innings of Game 5, the Houston Astros have outscored the poor Boston Red Sox 15-0. Man, I'd say that series is over too. Do you concur?
I think Astros. I wanted the Astros from the start. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going Astros.
Well, you want or you believe?
Both.
Why would you want the Astros? How could you be for cheaters?
Because I think Alex Cora is a little bit of a cheater, a little bit. Or he's a cheater who's also snitching on other people. So I don't know.
Oh, wow. So we got two bad guys. I guess we got to root for the Braves. That's all we can do. Oh, crazy. All right. We're going to go down to Baton Rouge in just a minute. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by the Edwin Watts Golf. How should I describe this place? It's place for apparel. It's a place for equipment. It's a place to go kibitz. It's a place for those who have passion about golf. Edwin Watts Golf Shop there at I-240 in Poplar. That place is so cool. They have two, you call them fitting bays. You know, you can actually play golf on there, pick your golf course, whatever. But they use it to fit you. So they'll pick out the right shaft for you, the right degree of loft for you. They custom fit whatever club you got in there by using their own stuff. And they get their own putting green in there. I mean, look, we all used to go to the country clubs to buy our stuff. Now we go to Edwin Watts. It is the place with all the latest gear. And it's just fun to go visit Jay Hasselman and all the guys. So stop by, tell them we sent you, and go get the latest from Edwin Watts Golf. Back in just a minute, Ron Higgins on the SEC. He comes your way in a sec.
You have opinions?
The knowledge that I have matters.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I got him on the line, Jeff Allen, the king of happy at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey folks, need a new ride that gets 41 MPG? 2021 Kia Forte, $249 a month. 2021 Kia Rio S hatchback, 41 MPG, only $258 a month. Plus a 2022 turbocharged Kia Soul, ready for that road trip at $267 a month.
Plus, you'll always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program. Remember, Forte $249, Rio $258, Soul $267. And don't sell your trade till you check with us.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 72 months at 2.9%, $29.99 down payment. Forte, NE 409-215, MSRP 19,335. Rio, ME 427,894, MSRP 19,755. Sold, N 7808-276, MSRP 20,615. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/21. Dealer stock only.
Tiger Nation, your 2021 NIT champion Memphis Tigers are back and ready to make a splash in the American Conference. Season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a minute of the action with the #1 recruiting class and a brand new coaching staff with Hall of Famer Larry Brown and former NBA star Rasheed Wallace. To lock in your seats for all the action and excitement, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com today.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for a fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Can't wait to talk to my friend Ron Higgins in just a matter of moments. He's brought to you by Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and of course the tankless water heater. Why are you using old technology when you can save money by getting into 2021? The tankless water heaters are the best. You never run out of hot water. You save money on your water bill and your power bill because you only heat the water you use, and you never have to worry about a tank bursting in your attic. There is no tank. It's the best. It really is. And Conway's now making it the perfect time to replace that old energy guzzler. Get the new stuff with 12 months to pay interest-free, or John will give you $250 for your old ancient tanked water heater. The perfect time right now, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. To Baton Rouge we go. My friend Ron Higgins, SEC historian. If we go back in history, Ron, I can remember, and I thought it was a major mistake, that R.C. Johnson fired Tommy West 3 weeks remaining in the season, and for 3 weeks, Tommy West ripped R.C. Johnson and the way the football program was being financed. Why in the world would you fire your coach and leave him around for as long as LSU is going to do with Ed Orgeron? Good morning.
Because he wanted to coach. He wanted to finish. I mean, they gave him the option. He wanted to finish the season.
But why would you let him? That's my. If you've decided you're making the move,
because you don't have anybody else. There's nobody else who's qualified to be interim. There's nobody. There's nobody on that staff who's qualified to be an interim coach. Not one person. Nobody with head coaching experience. Not one person.
And honestly, why the timing? Why after a major win over Florida?
Because this was already in the works after the Kentucky game. After they got beat at Kentucky by 21 points and gave up 330 yards rushing, and AD and Ed have had a good relationship since the AD got here a couple of years ago, and he went to him and Ed felt it was time too. He goes, yeah. I mean, he agreed that the program was in a hole that it wasn't going to get out of, and you know, when you're offered $16.9 million to take a walk at the end of the year, that's a nice stroll, a lot of cash in the pocket. And I mean, it was. We knew it would happen. We just didn't know if it would happen in season. That's not Scott Woodward, AD. That's not his MO everywhere he's been. He's usually done stuff after the season. In this case, I think he wanted to get a jump. On a coach search for one thing, but also, Ed Orgeron. They wanted him to coach. They didn't have anybody else, available really. And they didn't mind him coaching. Honestly, Ed Orgeron's probably a better interim coach than he is a head coach.
You know what? You said that last week, and that's the way this is working out. So maybe you had an inkling it would be that way. I guess when you're walking away with $17 million, Tommy West wasn't. You're not going to rip anybody. You never have to coach again. Do you think he will? Will he be a defensive line coach? Will he ever be a head coach again?
I think he'd be a position coach somewhere. I just don't think Ed can handle being a head coach anywhere else but LSU. And basically, the way I look at Ed is always great at getting a job. He got the Ole Miss job. He had this, he impressed the administration of Ole Miss. He had this notebook all laid out of how, his organization, how it would work, blah, blah, blah. He did the same thing at LSU. The one thing Ed didn't learn is how to handle success. And once that came, he didn't know how to handle it. And really, he was not even ever the same coach again. Just personally and professionally, made a bunch of bad hires. By the time this was over, by the time they pay Ed and the staff this year, their contracts, and the guys he fired last year, and everybody he's ever fired, LSU's going to pay probably $35 to $40 million for people not to coach.
Wow.
So that's a lot of change. And then not just getting in, now they have to go to a new coach, and the new coach, they're going to throw a bunch of money at a new coach too. So there you go. I don't know. LSU lost $80 billion last year in football during the COVID year. So I don't know where the money's coming from, but somebody's giving them some money to do this with.
Who do you think is the new coach? Billy Napier makes a lot of sense to me. Right down the road, I've heard who's the guy that was the OC in the championship year that went to the NFL, the young kid?
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady, yeah.
I wouldn't hire him. He's 32 years old. He has no clue how to be a head coach. They'll go after major names first. They'll go after James Franklin at Penn State. They'll go after him. They'll probably go after Lane Kiffin, I would imagine. I think they'll go after about anybody you can think of. I think the way that LSU AD approaches this, every man has his price.
Right.
So don't discount anybody. And I know this is crazy, and I say this, I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see them call Nick Saban and say, listen, how about $15 million a year? Would you come back for $15 million a year? Honestly, that's how crazy they are.
Man.
I'm just saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying it's not going to happen, but that's the attitude they have of like, who can we go get? And I agree on Billy Napier. I think he's a hell of a coach. But the only problem with that is LSU has this snobbery look down the nose.
Sure. I've seen that. Believe me, I have seen that.
The guy's a great coach. The guy's outstanding. Every time I watch him play, I love the way he coaches. He coached under Dabo. He coached under Saban. He's 42 years old. And hell, somebody's going to get a great coach when they hire him out of Louisiana Lafayette. But again, LSU, this AD is more of a big splash guy. LSU fans expect a miracle now. He went and hired Kim Mulkey away from Baylor, so they expect it to happen in every sport. We get the best of the best. And in football, that's the hardest thing to do is to get a great coach away from another school.
Higgs, as always, we love you. Thank you. We'll do this again next week. We'll talk about the Ole Miss LSU game and see if that change in status affects that game at all. That is Ron Higgins down in Baton Rouge, brought to you by James Davis Men's Store. The perfect fit system is the Stance system, and the only place you can get the Stance system is at Laurelwood at the men's store of all of Memphis. 2 measurements for pants, 3 measurements for shirts, the perfect custom fit clothing you have ever had. Looks so good, feels so good, you'll love it. All the fall fashions are in at James Davis. Same old people still serving you. You'll love it. You want to look great, you want to feel great, you go to James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Thanks to Russell Copeland. Thanks to Ron Higgins. I'll come to you from Orlando tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Johnny Radio's next.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about